Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Afshan Khan. Today I want to talk about a subject that I think is one of the hot topics. And my next videos, inshallah, I'll be doing sort of like a talk on marriage and giving advice, because obviously I am a marriage counsellor and that's part of the work that I do. So I don't know how people view this, but there's a word called narcissism, and lots of people may be aware of it, but it's an up and coming thing that people are talking about quite a lot. And being a marriage counsellor is something that obviously I'm dealing with on a daily basis. What is narcissism? Narcissism is what we call a personality disorder. People who are narcissistic may be very arrogant. They may think it's my way or the highway. They may have some form of addiction. So there's a spectrum. I'm just telling you some of the symptoms, obviously, that I see as a counsellor. They may become very aggressive. They are very angry. They're very selfish. They think about themselves all the time. They're very manipulative. They can play mind games. So these are some of the symptoms. Obviously, there are more. But these things obviously affect a marriage. So if you're married to somebody who's narcissistic, then you're caught in this kind of trap where you never know where you are, and you always have to walk on eggshells. Because you're not sure what's happening in the situation with marriage, and you're also very unhappy. So sometimes you have to help couples overcome this kind of problem. But with people who are narcissistic, my main advice to them is always to get help. The people who are living with somebody who, and it doesn't have to be your spouse, it can be, I've heard of many clients who've spoken about their parents who are treating them very in a harsh manner. That we identify the root. It may be the fact they are narcissistic, and again, sometimes this will go back to their own childhood. They've had, most times I've identified, if somebody says that person is narcissistic or they have this kind of qualities or tendencies, if you again unravel the ball of wool, you'll find at the end of it, it may be some kind of childhood trauma. It may be the relationship with their mother, their father, a very complicated relationship. Perhaps their mother was narcissistic or their father was narcissistic or very abusive. So those are causes and symptoms that we inshallah can look at again. But I think it's important to understand that this is what's affecting a lot of married couples at the moment. And a lot of people are obviously divorcing for this reason. But my thing is that, look, there's always a reason why people are doing something. There's no excuse here. You need to get help. If it's any kind of problem, any kind of mental disorder, you need to get help. But the people who are living with people who are narcissistic, then you have to understand something. This is what I teach a lot of my clients, is to disengage in a way that you are not caught in their trap. Yes, because that's what they like to do. They like to, in other ways, language is gaslighting, where they'll get you to be caught into their world. So really, first try to understand that perhaps this is an illness, especially if you're married to somebody, and because it causes you a lot of trauma. I've heard a lot of sisters, when they come, they're on a complete point of breakdown, because they're like, emotionally, they're just so drained, because they don't know what to do. No matter what they do, and usually they do a lot, because usually narcissistic people may marry people who are codependent. Codependent people who are people pleasers, who will do a lot for everybody else, never actually focus on themselves. It's all about everybody else, never about themselves, and they'll try to control the situation where they won't confront the situation, but they'll try to do whatever they can to please their narcissistic personality. Obviously, I think with codependency we'll do a separate video, but it seems a tendency where narcissistic people marry people who are codependent. But the way to deal with people who are narcissistic is not to engage with them on the level of emotionally engaging with them. So it's like a roller coaster. So either you can get on the ride and go on there and come back exhausted, or you can say, you know what, I don't think I'll be doing that. So if they say anything to you, it's best to just disengage and say, well, you know what, that's your opinion, and I'm really sorry you feel that way. And this may be something very on the surface I'm telling you, but you need to go obviously deeper into this. But right now, first thing to understand, if you feel that your husband, wife, are narcissistic, then you have to understand how to deal with them. And there are many ways. First way is to disengage. Secondly, to understand it may be an illness. Thirdly, ask for them to get some help. Fourthly, look after yourself. And there are more tips and advice, obviously, I may give on people, because this is what I do every day. I've learned a whole conversation that you can have with somebody who's narcissistic. So mainly the conversation may go, well, you don't know anything, you're stupid, you don't do anything, you don't earn much. And all you say to them, well, I'm really sorry you feel that way. I'm quite happy where I am. I'm quite happy with the money that I make. And then you walk away. And as you begin to learn how to engage with them, suddenly it doesn't make any sense, because they want you to be on that roller coaster. They want a reaction, but you don't give them a reaction. What you do, two things: you don't play up, you don't give into the narcissistic personality, and also you protect yourself. And sometimes that's the only thing that you can do. So this is an up and coming topic. I mean, I'm sure it's been around for a long time, but as a marriage counsellor, when I wrote my first book, Secrets to a Successful Marriage, alhamdulillah, I'm on my second book now, you know. But what I saw in the beginning when I was writing the book is something of a very repetitive nature, and subhanallah, it was as though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was helping me write this book, because I didn't think that, you know, I'd be able to do this, because it was a very daunting task. But my intention was sincere, that I wanted to help people. It was a repetitive nature of things I've written in the book that I would see. So this is what I'm seeing. So I really feel I need to do some more videos and talk to people about it. I'm doing a lot of talks about this, but yes, people can obviously look this up themselves. I posted a few videos on my own Facebook with regards to it, because it's an everyday occurrence where I'm seeing people who are narcissistic, people who are codependent, and I'm helping them. And alhamdulillah, again, some of them comes from having low self-esteem. So I start off with self-esteem and I'm finishing off with self-esteem. But it's an illness, so don't internalize everything and think it's your fault, because it isn't. It may be the other person's fault, and they have an illness, and you have to learn how to cope with that kind of illness. So inshallah, I hope that's helped and benefited people with regards to this word of narcissism. Inshallah, I'll do some more work around that as well. So any advice, any questions, any suggestions, please do get back to me with any topics you would like me to share from my experience. I hope the video has been beneficial. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.